Hello everybody, welcome back. So I've not made a video in a few days. The main reason is that honestly, there's nothing more I can say about it. You know, we've been going in a sideways action for Bitcoin, and I've said that I imagine it to be going like this, at sideways and down, or just sideways within the range that we're playing within for at least another couple of months. And so, really, is there any need for me to to make videos about that every day? I know that I should treat YouTube a bit more seriously, but you know, I'm not going to chase. I've never wanted to chase views, but if you want to like and subscribe, please feel free to do so. What this video is about, I suppose, it's more about planning for what is certainly going to happen for some of these small cap altcoins, right? And then what we can do with that when the time is right. And this is a long-term plan, as in, like, it will take place at some point this year. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about you know, hodl or buy blindly. It's nothing to do with that. It's almost like a repeat of where we were in around January. So last year, if you remember last year, around between September to January, Bitcoin did a 300 or 350% rally, performed this move here on the Bitcoin Dominance chart, very small in comparison to what we saw after that. And altcoins were getting wrecked, obviously, as the dominance increased. Basically, the market cap of Bitcoin moved all the way up to about 73, 74. And yeah, altcoins, when we normally see this, we see some altcoins, especially the top caps, they do trend with Bitcoin to an extent, to a large extent they do. But the small caps weren't. In fact, the small caps were just going down. They were getting wrecked, and I would probably argue that the majority of altcoins were getting wrecked as Bitcoin was going up, so it's not something we normally would see. So, yeah, long story short, around about November, I kind of saw so many similar reads with altcoins to suggest that they were likely to make a decent big move, continuous trend around, between mid to late January. So yeah, I'm not going to dig out my old YouTube videos, but they're all there. It's all there. And lo and behold, we kind of peaked around here, and the alt season really did start to begin around mid to late January, and it's been going on for quite a while, and kind of ended about 6 weeks ago, 6 or 7 or 8 weeks ago, with the market crash in fantastic form. Now on my Patreon channel, we do these live streams, and I've been saying it, I suppose, for ages. Says, look, when Bitcoin Dominance does finally catch a bounce, it's not going to be good for altcoins. And so what you want to do, or what you want to think about, is that every time we come down to a support, you might want to hedge or take profit into Bitcoin. And if the alt season continues to rally, then you just go back in at an appropriate area. You know what I mean? It's just about hedging your risk. So I thought that we might catch a bounce here. We did spend a lot of time here. We broke down. Excellent. Okay. And more and more and more and more and more. But the lower we got, I was trying to reiterate it many times, over and over again, like a broken record really, the lower we go, it's not the more bullish you can be, it's actually the more cautious you should be. So, it's like any chart, it can't go to zero. It's not going to go to zero. It will bounce one point. And whether that bounces because Bitcoin rallies like it did over here, so Bitcoin rallied and altcoins kind of suffered, or it bounces here because the market dumped, and altcoins dump way harder than Bitcoin dumps. So it finally ended up being the case, and now what we've got now what we're left with is a decision, right? If you want to continue playing the market, there's a million ways, well, not a million ways, but there's a handful of ways you can do it. And for me, there's been so much profit being made, at least even just this year, just in this alt season, so much profit, unbelievable trades have been made. So there's been a lot of profit made, and there's been a lot of profit taken on the way up. So I have had quite a large reserve of tether, which is now being put back into Bitcoin on every incremental step down, which is, I suppose, like dollar cost averaging, which is something that I'm not a financial advisor, but if there is a way to get through a situation like we are at right now, dollar cost averaging or incrementally buying back, probably the best thing to do, but only for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the driver, and we're talking about risk to reward. And the risk to reward isn't so much on the Bitcoin chart; it's on the Bitcoin Dominance chart. This shows the risk to reward. If you're going to dollar cost average into anything, for me personally, I'd like to be in the safer asset, given the nature of the market overall right now. So the risk is all this level up here. Now I'm not saying we're going to come up to 70% dominance, but there is a chance that we could. It's unlikely, but it could happen. And in a market dump or in a bear market, it's not unlikely that we could find our way all the way back up to here eventually. And the reward is probably only down to this second level down here, about 35% dominant, you know, to our lowest low. I think it's unlikely that that's going to happen anytime soon. It might happen one day, and this is something that we're looking to plan for, right? So the risk to reward is outweighed by, you know, thinking about getting into altcoins. Too risky. The reward is too small. In compared to the giant risk. So there would be a big reward if it worked out, but the risk would also be enormous as well. And so what we're looking to do, or what I am doing anyway, is basically dollar cost averaging incrementally into Bitcoin on the way down, which is what I've been doing. So an increment bought here, an increment bought here, increments bought here, increment bought will be bought here hopefully. And if we break down from here, then I would imagine that 20,000 could be hit, but until we start breaking down below here, I'm not going to start trying to catch knives. We will have a period of accumulation, even if it's just for a few weeks, before we start to move up. So there'll be plenty of time to reassess the situation. It's not looking particularly good, I have to say right now. It's looking pretty bad, but we've not broken down. And quite a long story short on Bitcoin, I'm okay with Bitcoin being below $33,000 so long as we don't close a weekly below there and then get rejected from there as well on a weekly. So it's, again, this is why I'm not making so many videos right now, is because I've said it all. It's all been said. But what hasn't been said, I suppose, is planning for what's going to come somewhere down the line. So, there's been a few coins that we've done epic trades with, and they were not dead, but they were wrecked, completely wrecked. So just to name a few, there was like Harmony One, Matic, Seller, Holochain, Fet AI. Oh, God knows, so many. Even EOS, really. They all gave some signals from saying, they were all basically saying, XRP, they were all basically saying, I'm at the bottom here. I'm accumulating definitely at the bottom. It's all over. Don't worry, you can buy in here, and it won't take long, and I will make that move, and I will do your, well, in some cases, 30, 40, 50, 100x moves. There were some big moves, and this is why I get quite excited in a way when we come down like this. Obviously, I'm still holding quite a fair bit of altcoins, but the amount of profit that's been made over this just this year, to be honest with you, I can take the hit. That's fine, and now it's a matter of preparing for the next big moves. So Bitcoin is the starting block, and Bitcoin is obviously what I've shown as is if anything's going to move first, it's probably going to be Bitcoin. These coins I'm going to show you now are on my radar to be bought, but not anytime soon. But if there are going to be some 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x moves get made, I imagine it'll be with these three that I'm going to show you now. But it doesn't mean you should buy them now. They are still basically going down and likely to be even more wrecked than they are right now. And when they get completely wrecked and they can't get wrecked anymore, and then they give us the buying signals. This is the important thing to recognize. We have to buy them on signals. We can't just go buying them blindly. We buy them on signals, like we did with all those ones that I've mentioned, where we made all that money and did all those gains. We will be able to do those again. So these ones aren't even on Binance, which is good in a way, because there's always the chance that somewhere down the line it gets added to Binance. We'll give it that extra little kick. A little kick up the bullish arse, and give it that Binance effect pump. But I'm not buying it in anticipation for that. I will be buying them because they are aggressive movers. They're on Kucoin and Gateio. So first I'll show you the one on Gateio, because I had to bring this up separately. And it's OMI, or eComi. My understanding is it's to do with NFTs. Who the hell even cares about it? The fact is that this one had been going up massively before it even came onto Gateio, and then in the space of 1 week, it went absolutely bonkers. And anybody that bought it around this point here, I mean, that's like 1 day's worth of price action. You would basically want to test your head, really, for buying it, after it's done that. And then the normal thing for anything to happen after that is this. So this is pretty normal. This is pretty normal for something that moves up 800% in a day. This one has got some kind of fundamental value to it, but you could you should argue with anybody that says that it's bullish. I mean, it's just not. But is it going to go up again? It will go up again. Is there any buy signals on it now? No, there's not. Is it massively oversold? Not really. It can definitely go down more. And where can it go? Lower than this, definitely. And when it does that, that's fine. And what we look for is a period of accumulation. And accumulation in the simplest terms is basically sideways. Sideways for a prolonged period of time, allowing for moving averages to basically start to knot up with each other, and then we get some relief with the cloud, some other signals involved, and we'll buy it then. And what would I expect? I would expect some phenomenal runs from it. You know, maybe not something like this in one day, but I would imagine this to start to pick up in an aggressive way. Am I buying it now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. No way in hell. But what is it doing? It's on my radar. And I will wait for this. I will wait for it to get completely wrecked, absolutely wrecked, to the point where everybody's calling it a scam. It's all over. It's a pyramid scheme. It's scam. It's a rug pull. It's this. It's that. And it's when you start to hear all of that, then you look for the accumulation. But right now, it's going down. It's going to continue to go down, and it would not surprise me if it went down by another 50 or 60 or 70 or 80% from where it is right now. I'm not here to tell you where it's going to go down to. I'm here to tell you that this is on my radar for when the dust settles, and the dust is far from settled. Like I say, the risk to reward on the Bitcoin dominance chart alone suggests we should not be buying altcoins, especially small caps like this. But where you see things like this, there can be opportunity in that, but it doesn't mean buy it now. I have to stress that. Don't buy it now. Don't buy it now. The only thing to be bought is Bitcoin, and then we turn that Bitcoin into multiple Bitcoins by flipping it into things like this. You know, if I have one Bitcoin today, and through this downtrend I keep incrementally buying more, by the end of the downtrend, whatever the price of Bitcoin might be, if it comes down to $12,000, I end up with 2 Bitcoins just from incrementally buying on the dips on the way down. Then okay, I've got 2 Bitcoin. Now what I do is I wait for the time to flip into something like this with some of that Bitcoin. But if let's just say I went all in, and I put 2 Bitcoins into this when it was reaching the ground floor, and it did a move of, you know, just a fraction of just what this chart already had achieved, you know, from this level. That means that, hang on a minute, I can turn my 1 Bitcoin into 2, into 3, into 4, into 5, into 6, into 7 Bitcoins. You get my point, right? This is the game I'm playing. All right, it's called stacking sats, I suppose is what people call it, but it's planned. All right, it's not just a little 20% here, or, you know, fingers crossed and hope for the best here. It's nothing to do with that. It's planned, isn't it? You plan, patience and planning. And I turn my 1 Bitcoin into potentially 10 Bitcoins just in a single trade when the time is right. And the time will be right at one point. It's not right now. So this is number 1, eCommy or OMI, whatever you want to call it. But don't buy it now. It's going to come down more, probably, almost certainly going to lose an enormous amount of its value from where it is right now. The next is VRA, another coin which went absolutely bonkers. You see a lot of coins look like this on Kucoin, and again, these aren't on Binance. So if you want to set up Kucoin or Gateio, there's links in the description below. You can set the accounts up, and there's reduction of your trading fees as a result of that. But look at this chart right now. It's pretty wrecked. Is it going to get more wrecked? Well, I would expect it to, definitely. So it's already down to the tune of 78%. Where could it be before the breakout zone? 96%. It could come down 96% from its top to its bottom. That's pretty nasty stuff. Definitely pretty nasty stuff. But has it got the opportunity? Does it have the potential to actually do some decent bounces when the time is right? I would expect it probably does. I've checked the fundamentals on it. It's not a complete pile of crap. There are some things about it which sound like redeeming factors for its use case and this, that and the other. But the chart, you know, if you wanted to buy some right at this very second in time, I suppose this might be one area you could try it. But given the Bitcoin dominance chart, and, you know, given my what I said at the beginning about risk to reward for altcoins versus Bitcoin, even though the chart says, all right, I'm a decent supporter here that's held for, you know, several weeks now, and again, this is a weekly chart. I think it probably will break down, and when it breaks down from here, it will break down even further, and like I say, we might get a 90-odd%, 96, 95, 96% retracement from its top. Now, if that were to happen, let's just say we bought it from, when it came down to the breakout point, back down here, I bought it on the resistance of the cloud over here, all the way down here, and then it did, a full move back up. That's 7,700%. There's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. There's a massive move, right? That's huge. That's epic. But even if it just did a fraction of that and even came back up to the support here, that's a 1,500% move. That means if I put one Bitcoin into this at the support down here, if it was an appropriate time, and it just did a fraction of what it did previously, I can turn one Bitcoin into 16 Bitcoins. You can see where I'm coming from, right? It's all about patience. Do I want to buy it now? No, I don't. Would I be interested in later down the line? Definitely, and it's on my radar for that. So it's not a pile of crap. Fundamentally, it's not a scam coin, complete scam coin or a rug pull event. But it was definitely overbought. It's going to get oversold. People are going to call it a scam, and then I'll be interested in buying it. And again, when we have something that has the potential to, we're not even talking about doubling the amount of Bitcoin you've got. We're talking about tripling, quadrupling it, 10xing it or more. You can see where I'm coming from. There's a whole world of opportunity here, but what we've got to do is be patient, and I'm just building upon that Bitcoin base. So I've got skin in the game, ready to flip when the time is right, which won't be, I imagine, for a few months, maybe towards the end of this year. It's all about planning. It's definitely all about planning. This is how I made the massive gains this year. It's how I'm going to make the massive gains, I imagine, by the end of this year, by doing that. And I will turn, however many Bitcoins I've got into many, many more, just for some simple spot trades. So that's altcoin number 2. We're talking super small caps. I'm not saying that these are the best things in the world. I'm just saying that there is so much opportunity, and when we see this downtrend, we can cry, and we can be we can curl up in a ball and start shaking, or we can rub our hands together and go, this is gonna be amazing. Let's start the plan and just focus on Bitcoin and flipping that Bitcoin into some stuff like this. Like I say, if I had just one Bitcoin and I decided to put 0.1 Bitcoin into something like this, even if Bitcoin had come all the way down to, let's say, $12,000, by the time that this chart gets played, if it plays out the way that it should, once the buying signal is made, I could turn that 0.1 Bitcoin into a whole Bitcoin quite easily, I would imagine. And that's how I'd probably try to play these. I wouldn't be throwing in multiple Bitcoins into something like this. I'd be putting portions in, and you can make it. You can see where I'm coming from. There's plenty of opportunity down the line. And the last one I'm going to show you is, well, I mean, look at that. What the heck am I looking at here? Is bepro. So this is something my mates were telling me to get into ages ago, because they'd heard it on Reddit of all places. Got to get into it. What are they saying to me? Bepro or be broke? Well, I did not do it, and it's not for any other reason. It's that I don't want to buy anything that's already been in a savage uptrend like this one's already been. So let's have a look at the chart properly. It's pretty annoying when we see it like that. Let's get off the weekly, get onto the daily. So again, this is one of those coins which I'm not saying buy now. You do not want to be buying it now. It's gone all the way up here. Listen. What I mean, people telling you to buy something that's doing this already. I mean, you have to have your head examined. If somebody's telling you to buy something that's already been in a savage uptrend, you just have to say, no, good for you. I've missed the opportunity. Fair play to you. And I can tell you now, my mates who got into this, I know for a fact that they're still in it now. I'm not entirely sure of their overall entry point, but I daren't ask. So it was a nice move up, 2,700% move up from this breakout zone. But somebody bought that top, didn't they? And where are we right now? Well, I'll tell you what, they're 93% down from the top already. So it's not looking particularly good, to be honest with you. However, the chart, it's maturing in its downtrend, definitely, just like everything else is. Small cap coin getting traded at very low amount, $500,000. This is wreckage territory. There's going to be, in my opinion, a chart like this, there's going to be a point where it just drops off completely just drops off to a low that people just never considered to be even possible again, and then it will likely to reaccumulate around there, and then people like me will be buying it. And again, What am I looking to do? I'm looking to buy it from, let's just say we managed to get all the way back down here, full retracement all the way back down here, and it even just came up to these resistance. That's a 7,600% move. It's ridiculous, and it's possible. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen. I'd be happy just to get a fraction of that move, which is all I'm really looking for. Turning my fractions, my pieces of Bitcoin, my 1 Bitcoin into what would this be? I turn 1 Bitcoin into 20 Bitcoins just from a small move like that. It's not a small move, it's a huge move. It's a huge move. You can see where I'm coming from, right? So, all I'm trying to stress is downtrends are very, very nice. And downtrends like this are brilliant, provided you'd never bought the top, right? So long as you didn't buy the top, you'll be alright. The idea is we buy the bottoms of these things. And this is what we did in January, and this is what we're going to be doing again this year, probably towards the end of this year. I imagine that the earliest will be around October. These things should have settled down and probably put in bottoms at that point. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. But the way I'm seeing it now, and it's similar in a way to the way I saw it back last November, where I saw that there was many altcoins that all kind of showed that there was going to be an alt season around mid to late January. The Bitcoin dominance was moving up higher and higher and higher, and then it all came to a point where it was like, this is definitely the time to buy. And I was buying things that nobody wanted. I was buying a holochain when it was trading at $500,000 a 24-hour period. People were saying, "What are you doing, you idiot? You're buying it as a complete crap coin." I said, well, look, I know what you're saying, but there's signals here. The Bitcoin dominance is at a high. If there's anything that's going to move, it's going to be things like this that are already telling us that they want to be bought. There was many of them, and we made many of these trades. FET, Matic, Harmony One, Seller, Holochain, even things like XRP and EOS were saying, buy me now, I'm going to move. These aren't saying buy me now, I'm going to move. These are saying, look, watch how low I can go. Trust me, I can go lower. Just watch this. I'll blow your mind with how low I can go, and you can pick me up later. Don't even look at me right now. That's what they're saying. They say, don't even look at me. I can't bear for anyone to see me this way. But they won't be like this forever, in my opinion. I think these are the small cap coins that are going to offer the biggest moves back somewhere down the line. I'm not interested in getting the 20% moves or the 35% moves. And when someone will watch this video probably, and then tomorrow you'll see bepro up by 30% or something like that, and they go, "You idiot! The bottom's already in. Oh, it's already up 30%," and I'll be like, well, that's fine. I'm not chasing the 30%. I'm chasing the 1,000 or the 2,000%. That's what I'm chasing, and I'm chasing it from the lowest risk perspective. And at the moment, the risk is too high. I'm not interested in the small bounces, even if they are, let's just say 50% moves. I'm not interested in those. I'm interested in buying some of these bottoms, multiplying the amount of bitcoins that I own by to a factor of 10 or 20 or more, over a very short space of time in a single low risk trade at some point towards the end of this year. That's all I'm saying, and I thought I'd bring these three to your attention to show you that there are epic opportunities that are going to present themselves a little bit further down the line this year. But for the moment, the only opportunity that I see fit to even talk about or even think about is incrementally buying into Bitcoin on the way down, and that's all I've been doing, buying in incrementally on the way down. First buy zone here, second buy zone down here, third buy zone here, fourth here. Then after that, we'll wait and see how low it could possibly go. If we enter a bear market, so be it, and then I'll wait for an accumulation period, whether that's at 20,000, 16 or 12. And then, and only then, will I start to look at those charts that I've just spoken about and many more underneath a very, very high, I can't think of the right word, but look at it, with a bullish lens and wait for the bottom to really quite clearly be in. And when you're buying these sort of things, especially if you're trying to buy them at the bottom, they can be frustrating, and they can take a bit of time. They can take a month or two to start their uptrends. The idea is you're buying them before they start their uptrends, and that is how I managed to make it's an unbelievable amount of money that I've made just since this January. It's all documented, obviously, on my YouTube channel, some of the things that I've been getting in and calling the bottoms on. So it's not me just making this stuff up. It's about planning ahead. Plan ahead. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I know it's a boring old phrase, but it's true. And now it's all about planning, so I'm buying the dips. Not because I expect it to make a V-shaped recovery with Bitcoin, but I need to get some skin in the game. I need to build up on my Bitcoin balance using the profit that I've made throughout this last 6 months. And then that Bitcoin will be used to multiply the amount of Bitcoin I have by so much more when the time is right. And these downtrends are very exciting to me, because I look at these things and I go, right, now what am I going to plan to buy? Not because I see anything good in them right now, is that because they're going to get so oversold and they are going to offer so much back in the future. We're not in any kind of uptrend right now, so we can't be looking at charts and following all your favorite YouTubers who are probably selling a bit of hope. Oh, we're going to bounce today, V-shaped recovery, buy this or you'll miss out, buy a bepro or be broke, or whatever it is that all these people are saying. That's not the appropriate way to navigate through this cryptocurrency minefield. The best way is to honestly make a solid plan and plan for something to not take place the next day or the next week. Because I know some people watch these videos and go, I watched this video and by the time I finished the video I looked at the chart and it was down. It didn't go up. Or, and you're like, well, you've missed the point. I look at these charts, on daily and weekly charts. All right, my analysis is done on daily and weeklies, and they offer the biggest moves at the lowest risk. The only problem that you've got is your own patience, right? So I'm planning my trades now to take place. Well, obviously I'm buying Bitcoin in these dips, in these incremental steps down, but I'm planning my epic trades to take place towards the end of the year. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking at some of these charts to work out which have been the most aggressive, having a little research about what they actually do. Is it a scam? Does it have some fundamental use case? This, that, and the other, and wait. And now they're on my radar. They will be used probably, I imagine, towards the end of this year. We're talking October, November-ish. But that's a long way off, and there's no signals to say that that's the case. But I imagine that's where it'll start to kick in. The opportunities to flip the Bitcoin that I've accumulated into some of these altcoins, to then basically turn essentially let's just say 1 Bitcoin into 10 or 20 Bitcoins. It's all there on the chart. It's all there to be planned. And so buying Bitcoin for me, let's just say, oh, but you bought Bitcoin at 48,000 on the way down. You are an idiot. You bought Bitcoin at 40,000, you idiot. You bought Bitcoin at 30,000, you idiot. And at 28,000, and it went all the way down to 12, right? Well, yeah, that might be the case, but if you think about it and what I'm actually planning to do with those Bitcoins, it's all going to work out pretty well, just like it did, and always does, when you plan. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. It's quite a long video, so I apologise for that. If you made it to the end, please let me know. Otherwise, I will assume that it was too long, and I'll try and condense it down to a little bit less of a rant. I just need to get the point across that downtrends are exciting, almost as exciting as an uptrend. The only problem that most people have is the problem with themselves and the patience and the lack of planning. And I make the analogy a lot of the time that you can trade like a dog in the park chasing a squirrel barking up a tree. You're never going to catch that squirrel running around like an idiot like that. But your average fat house cat will easily catch a mouse because it stalks its prey. It sits there, it's got patience, it will wait. The mouse will run out eventually, and then the fat house cat will eventually get it. So I prefer to always trade like a cat, sit there, wait, make the plan, and not run around like an idiot Yorkshire Terrier barking up a tree trying to catch a squirrel that it's never going to get with the worst tactics possible. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, but thanks for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.